बढ़ी जरेंगे तुम आगे बढ़ो
हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं.
एक मराठा, एक मराठा. गेली 2 वर्ष आमचं हे आरक्षणाचं जे काही भिजत घातलेलं घोंगडं आहे, आम्हाला फक्त मतदानाचा वापर करण्यासाठी हे आम्हाला आरक्षण दिलं म्हणतात, पण हे आमचं टिकाऊ आरक्षण आहे. आमचं जे काही हक्काचं आरक्षण आहे आणि ते म्हणजे कुणबी ओबीसी मधून ते आम्हाला आरक्षण मिळाल्याशिवाय आम्ही इथून मुंबई हलणार नाहीत. कारण आमच्या गावगड्यातून आम्ही 100, 200 रुपये, 300 रुपये पट्टी करून आज आम्हाला गावातल्या लोकांनी पाठवलेलं आहे आणि या संधीचं सोनं केल्याशिवाय आम्ही राहणार नाही. आज आमच्यावर रस्त्यावर आंघोळ करण्याची वेळ आलेली आहे आणि हीच वेळ आमच्या लेकरा बाळावर येऊ नये म्हणून आज आम्ही हा संघर्ष करत आहोत. एक मराठा, एक मराठा.
आणि शेती करतो.
बरं.
ऍक्च्युअल शेतामध्ये मॅडम आमची परिस्थिती अशी आहे की आम्हाला सध्या मुलाला शाळेत भरायला फीस सुद्धा नाही. आम्ही अशी एकदम परेशानीमध्ये असतो. शेतकऱ्याच्या शेतीमालाला भाव नाही. या सगळ्या गोष्टीसाठी मी या ठिकाणी आंदोलन करण्यासाठी आलेलो आहे. आमच्या मुलासाठी बघा अदर भीतर जे एसटी असेल ओबीसी असेल इतर समाजाचे मुलं आहे तर या मुलांना एकदम कमी फीस मध्ये यांना ऍडमिशन भेटतं. त्यानंतर यांना कमी मार्क मध्ये सुद्धा नोकरी लागतात. तर आम्हाला त्या ठिकाणी आरक्षण पाहिजे. कारण आमच्या मुलाला जास्त मार्क पडून सुद्धा आम्ही नोकरी करू शकत नाही. आम्हाला त्यासाठी आरक्षण पाहिजे.
After 5 days of bringing Mumbai's nerve center to a near standstill, the Maratha agitation has come to a close. The Maharashtra government has accepted its leader Manoj Jarange's key demands. This means, in essence, that larger number of Marathas or more Marathas can access reservation via the OBC category because they can get Kunbi certificates. What is Kunbi? Kunbi is an OBC community and Marathas wanted to be identified as Kunbis in order to access reservations. Now, this will have a lot of ramifications, including political ones, but the key question is, will there be any substantive change on the ground as a result of the government accepting these demands? Is this real change? Let's ask Girish Kuber, the editor of LokSatta, who's making time in a very busy week to join us. Girish, thank you for making time. What a week this has been. Very dramatic, I must say.
Yeah, it has been. It actually exposed how government is ill prepared, or rather not prepared at all for handling such crowd, you know. And government was caught napping on this issue. Ideally, Jarange Patil and his followers, they shouldn't have been allowed to enter Mumbai. But once they are in, you have to offer something, you know. Otherwise, there has to be some kind of a face saver, and that's exactly government did.
But I find it very interesting that you said the government was caught napping, because this is not something that was an unknown. And
Yes.
also, they were given permission for one day.
Yeah.
5,000 people at Azad Maidan. How did it go so out of hand? Also, Girish, I was at Azad Maidan, outside Azad Maidan, opposite, VT station or CST, the BMC headquarters. And on the following day near Flora Fountain, I saw a lot of police, but I also saw police rather, very hands off, very relaxed. So at our tempos with people and supplies, even on Saturday, which was the second day, and they were already cooking. So what is it? Why was the government caught napping? Did they not know, or was there a deliberate political action here that we are not aware of?
See, it's basically a friction or division in the cabinet itself. Devendra Fadnavis, as everyone knows, is a Brahmin.
Yes.
Not allowing Maratha agitators in Mumbai would have sent a terrible message. It was very political. It would have been politically disastrous, for him. Number one. Number two is to how to avoid such thing. So there should have been some kind of a interlocutor, some media middleman who will be talking to Jarange Patil. Every political power, they use such kind of tactics. There is a back door channel. In this case, it was missing. There was no one who was talking to Jarange Patil, and the subcommittee head. The responsibility should have been with the concerned minister, that is Radhakrishna V.K. Patil, who eventually led the discussion. But he was not asked to do specifically. The person who was in touch with, who was seen managing Jarange Patil till now was Eknath Shinde. And the friction between the CM and deputy CM, that is well known. So everybody just did nothing, and hoping that it will on its own will go away. And that is beyond naive to believe that Jarange would have come only with 5,000. I mean,
Yes.
what is the mechanism you have to count? I mean, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4,099. I mean, there has to be some kind of a system to control that, and that was missing. Police's warning was not paid heed to, and once they are in, they were all over Mumbai, and the South Mumbai collapse happened. It was very evident, and that was bound to happen. That's what I say. Government was caught napping because there was no preparation. None was ready to handle such kind of a huge mass coming in. So much so, I mean, Radhakrishna VK Patil, the person who was handling that
Yes.
committee,
Yes.
his district alone had some 1,000 vehicles coming in towards Mumbai. Nothing was done. It shows how divided the state cabinet and the state administration is on this caste and the social issues, and that was out in the open.
So why was Eknath Shinde not in the city, given that he was somebody who, like you just mentioned, was seen to be in contact with Manoj Jarange. Also, in the past, you referred to the fact that when he was chief minister, actually Manoj Jarange has become a larger than life figure.
Yeah.
Why was he not in the picture? Is it only because Ganesh, the Ganesh
No,
Utsav
no,
is
no.
being
That
celebrated
is
in Mumbai?
a good excuse, but the real reason obviously is political.
Yeah.
I mean, see, just imagine what could have been the message if Eknath Shinde was in handling this issue and being successful in handling that. I mean, chief minister fails and deputy CM succeeds. So this is something unsaid things. No one will say this is the reason, but we all have done political reporting. Everyone knows what's the thing which is going on behind it. So eventually he was naturally kept aside, and there was no one actually. I mean, there was no problem in leaving Shinde aside, or bypassing Shinde. It was perfectly logical. But there should have been someone at least to speak to Jarange Patil. So for 4 days, first 4 days,
Yes.
none from the government was in touch with him. That is wrong. Our objection should be to that. I mean, who
Yes.
is deputed chief minister's prerogative? That is his call. No problem for that. But there should have been someone. No one doing anything is a serious issue.
This desire for Maratha for the Maratha community to have reservation in the OBC category is something that has been brewing for the last 10 years, at least a decade, very strongly, has emerged very, very strongly in the last 3-4 years. But even from the Mandal Commission days, we have seen this objection to the Marathas, being left out of the OBC community and the open category shrinking. So tell me, in the context of this history, what has really Jarange Patil and this Manoj Jarange and this current protest, what has it really achieved? Because not all Marathas are Kunbis yet or OBCs yet.
The beauty of this whole issue is making feel Jarange Patil that he has won. So that's exactly government has done that, and government's stakes are very high. It was in government interest to make Jarange Patil feel that he has won and the victory celebrations and whatnot, But in reality, there is nothing that's going to change. That's the fact. Because let me explain. The reference is here about the Hyderabad Gazette. So
Yes.
Marathwada was under Nizam. Everybody knows.
This is pre-independence.
Pre-independence, and the data which will be culled out is from the Gazette, which is based on a census that was held in 1901. So which is the thing which has happened 124 years ago will be relied upon. One committee actually went and dug out everything right from entire Marathwada's 5 districts, because those were the only 5 districts which were under Nizam's rule. The committee went to Hyderabad also, got all the details, came back to Marathwada, find out. It worked on finding out more details. But the problem is that 1901 census data, it's except the mention of that thing, they could find something like 47,000 references in entire 5 districts. Because there has to be, I mean, if I mention somewhere, there has to be my local connection in the place which I'm sure is coming from, right? So these two
Right.
dots necessarily have to be connected. So the committee was successful in connecting these dots only in cases of 47,000 plus what do you call persons or families. As per the government's commitment, that relatives of those 47,000 also will be entitled for Kunbi certificate. Perfectly fine. But that number comes down to 2,39,000, right? And those 2,39,000 have already been given OBC certificates. So the thing which has already been sold can't be sold again. That's what my point is. And on this issue, because why it then it hollowed out? Because government wanted this fellow to leave Mumbai. He wanted to leave Mumbai, obviously, because of High Court's pressure and all that, you know. So there has to be some kind of a face saver. There has to be some kind of a celebration that yes, we have won. And government doesn't have anything to lose if he thinks that he has won. As simple as that. So on the ground, nothing is going to change. That's the reality.
So, a large proportion of Marathas who want to have OBC status still will not have OBC status. Is
Correct.
that a fair
Correct.
conclusion?
Correct. That's perfect. That's correct to say, because that's the reality. You can't have it status, caste status transplanted.
Yes.
It's not possible. There has to be some roots, some proof, and that state committee, the Justice Sandeep Shinde committee, which was appointed to look into that, has found records of, as I said, only about 47,000 plus people, you know, and the families, and all the family members of that committee. Some 450 or so were objected to, and those were removed from the list to be given as status as OBC. So the final figure is something like 2,39,000. So that's been already settled.
So then, what about the other demand that in a month's time, the Surat, Pune, and Bombay Gazettes will also be looked at, and Kunbi status given to Marathas? Can you explain that as well?
No, this is nothing but than buying time. You know, government wanted to buy time, obviously, because see, this is not the first fast unto death by Jarange Patil. He has had at least half a dozen fast. Every fast ended with this kind of an commitment that government will look into, and everyone knows that the government can't do beyond that, because there are limitations any state government can do. Like look at the issue of what happened to Gujars in Gujarat, or similar communities in Kapu in Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan. So to address this issue, Narendra Modi government before 2019 elections came out with a plan of 10%, offering
Yeah.
them 10% EW.
EWS.
Yeah, economically weaker section. Actually, the reservation is meant only for only on social ground. It can't be on economic base, you know. But
Yeah.
it still did that. Every other community in other state, they accepted that. Maratha is an exception. So there is a limit how much government can do. But now the problem is that when you say, when you commit, when you promise, when you proclaim that you have every right and you will offer them something, give you something, then you have to keep on playing this game, and that's exactly is being played out in Maharashtra. It won't go beyond that. So final solution, the obvious question will be, what is the final solution? The solution is only one, and that rests with the parliament and the union government, unless and until they raise the limit beyond
The
50%.
50% limit, which was actually mandated by the court, by the
Correct,
Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a very aggressive press conference conducted by Minister Chhagan Bhujbal, in the last 5 days, where he talked about if the OBC category, if Marathas come into it, their share will go down. This is not acceptable, and that there will be a stir that they will start. So at this point, if you're saying nothing substantive has changed. Nothing really has been gained by the Marathas, but the Marathas are celebrating because they believe something has been gained. Do the
Yeah.
OBCs need to feel threatened, or will they start a stir, or do they understand that nothing has changed?
No, no, no. They will have to, because see, it's a game of posturing now.
Okay.
You have satisfied Marathas on just their posturing. You have to satisfy OBCs also, because this is a game of now political one-upmanship, and OBCs won't stay behind, and more also BJP won't let that happen, because BJP is based in Maharashtra or all over India for that matter is Brahmins, I mean the upper caste and the OBCs, and the way they have. View such kind of an equation. So government will not antagonize OBC. So they will have to show they are also giving something. As we speak, there is an announcement from the chief minister that he is going to appoint a subcommittee, cabinet subcommittee to look into OBC demand. So everybody will have to feel as victorious as Manoj Jarange Patil. And the problem with this is that OBCs. Like Marathas, I mean, the OBCs are not a homogeneous community, There are something like 300 plus various communities which have been clubbed under OBCs. So this is one state where OBCs are something like 30%. So you have Marathas which are 33% of the total population. So once you allow 33% Marathas in the OBC,
Yes.
pie is the same.
Yes.
How much you will go on slicing it, and that
Yeah.
is the real issue. So government has limits what it can do, but as I said, they will have to pretend that they are doing something for each and every community, and that is being done now.
So, Girish, I met and spoke to a few of these protesters. Somebody had come from Jalna, somebody had come from Beed, different places in Maharashtra. And they were all very sure that EWS category reservation is insecure, that it is not something that feels offers permanent security because of that 50% cap that you talked about. They were also very clear that their chief concerns were about economic anxiety, were about the fact that employment is difficult, that employment is not there, and more critically that in education they were not able to pay fees. Higher education was becoming
Yeah,
difficult, even though as it's known and anybody in Maharashtra knows that the Maratha community by and large is a powerful community, is
yeah,
an influential community, including Eknath Shinde. I think there will have been
yeah,
12 chief ministers from
correct.
the Maratha community. So, how do their real issues get addressed? If what they are seeing as a solution to be quotas or reservations, you're saying that the quotas or reservations will only do so much because the numbers are limited. Then where
Yeah.
does it leave all these young men that I met?
Yeah, this actually is the crux of the whole social issue. Uh, uh, this answer to this question leads us to complete economic stagnation in Maharashtra. Maharashtra government's failure in having equitable distribution of wealth and industrialization has resulted into this. So why Marathas are agitated? Number one, the answer is that say as families grow, there is further cutting of land,
Yes,
land ownership. Yeah, as it is, it's very small. It's not even 4 acre per family, which is minuscule. You can't have a profitable agriculture into that. So even that gets divided. And when there are no jobs also to accompany with, so we reported some of the places like, say, for example, Dhule or Nandurbar districts, there are no jobs in the entire district and surround except the government ones. So just imagine, I mean, the so-called demographic dividend we are talking about, there is nothing to offer these young ones, coming out of universities and colleges. There is nothing. So what they will expect? And another thing which has happened is that simultaneously they have seen Dalits growing on the social ladder because of reservations. So once, on the one hand, you are deprived, and on the other, someone else is making progress at your cost. This feeling is absolutely potent combination for social disaster. And this is the situation in Maharashtra. The actual answer is industrial growth, industrial development, which is not happening. So you keep on pampering them with some kind of a reservation. And even if assuming it's given to all Marathas, where are government jobs? As it is, 59% of the state budget is wasted on running the administration, so-called administration. So 41% in the remaining, there can't be the great things they have to do for the population as big as that of Germany. So you can imagine the situation we are living in. You know, it's a ticking time bomb, and no one wants to address real issues. So you keep on avoiding talking about these issues, and then go on promising something which would never be delivered.
It just seems that here you are in 2025, 78 years after independence, a forward caste or a group, a community which is wanting to prove itself to be socially backward in order to
Yeah.
benefit from reservation as the only route to future security. So what has reservation achieved? And if you look at this cap, increasing this cap by new legislation at the parliamentary level, what will that result in?
The reservation has achieved a lot in the past, but now problem is that what will it achieve in future? That is the bigger question, because what has happened when you don't have anything to offer, you know. I mean, you mentioned about reservation in education in colleges, a perfectly
Yes.
legitimate demand. But look at the figures. Like last year, more like 1 lakh seats in various engineering colleges went vacant. There were no takers. And that is point number one. And point number two is that even if those who are coming out of those engineering colleges, the quality of education is, it's awful to say the least, you know. And now when there is no growth, there is no actual I mean, there is nothing you are offering them to fulfill their dreams, then at least offer them something which will give some kind of a satisfaction and bring at par with those who are having reservations, you know. And so now, I mean, this exactly Maharashtra government did ahead of 2024 elections. It formed corporation basis communities. So even there was a corporation formed for Brahmins also.
Yeah, yes, yes.
But there is a corporation for Brahmins and Jains and you name it, and it's there. So this is nothing but, honestly speaking, massaging egos, and this is the only thing that unfortunately government has to offer, and this is the only thing that people make happy. So we are stuck. Those who are celebrating, they think that they have won. Those who want to offer this victory to someone else, they are happy. Celebrate. Let them celebrate. So no one wants to take the reality, and this is the reality, and this is the real problem actually. But everyone is happy in hugging shadows, you know, and drawing satisfaction on that, and that's unfortunate actually.
So, we saw the breaking of the fast, and it was all very dramatic. Where does it leave Manoj Jarange? Because does he become a taller Maratha leader? And we saw, the other thing I heard people speak about, and we saw how Supriya Sule was, treated. Is there a disenchantment with the so-called Maratha parties of Maharashtra and these well-known families over the last few years? And does Manoj Jarange have a bigger role to play? Because we saw him on that stage and he was really milking it for what it was worth, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, he's a media savvy, camera friendly generation
Yes.
leader. So he represents that. That's one. But you talked about Marathas. Again, the issue is that Marathas all across the state are not one. There is no homogeneity in the Maratha community also. Why it's so? Because in Western Maharashtra, and most of the chief ministers are from Western Maharashtra, including Eknath Shinde, they belong to landlords, you know, they represent landlord community, you know. Whereas Marathas in Konkan is exactly opposite. They are landless laborers. So the word Kunbi is for those who are working, those who work on someone else's farm. I mean, menial work, agriculture related activities and kind of stuff, you know. So Marathas in say Kolhapur, they won't like to be addressed as Kunbis. They say that we are Marathas. Whereas if you go to Vidarbha, the land holding in Vidarbha is jaw dropping. Some 300 acres of land owning families, you know. So it's not one jacket fits all. That is that Maratha, and that's how the whole issue is. And unless you address according to the social needs, what is Jarange's demand? Jarange's demand is he's saying that bring or identify all Marathas as Kunbis. Technically, it's incorrect. It is not possible to do because, like for example, Brahmins. I mean, there are hundreds of sub-classifications of Brahmins. So this is exactly applicable to Marathas also. So it's not going anywhere. And Jarang's stature, I mean, yeah, I mean, whenever he is on fast, it gets good media attention, good supporters, and kind of stuff. But it's not taking him any further. Whatever he has achieved already. This Hyderabad Gazette also. This was the promise given to him in January last when he was stopped at borders of Mumbai, at Mumbai borders. So nothing has changed after that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is the era when you flex muscles and
So it is
showcase.
not as if so it is not as if he becomes a Maratha leader who has political clout in terms of elections.
See, had it been the case, he would have defeated those opposing him, their candidates in last two elections. He has failed miserably. On political level, he has failed miserably because OBCs are also equally strong. So it gets completely nullified, his power versus OBC's power. Look at Marathwada, look at BJP's success in state assembly elections. Everywhere they managed to have a huge number of voters thanks to OBCs. So he's already been his effect.
Electorally ineffective. But,
Yeah.
but so you're saying that there is no danger to the power and the clout or the electoral base of the Maratha parties in Maharashtra or the Maratha led parties in Maharashtra.
No, come again. No, I didn't mean that. What I mean is that the political leadership of the Maratha leadership basically is on one side, and those agitating Marathas are on the other. There is no connect between the two.
Right.
And those are from the landless communities, and whereas the Maratha established Maratha leadership. See, Ashok Chavan, as of now, he's in the BJP, one of the strongest leaders who also comes from Marathwada. He was totally absent from the scene. So was Eknath Shinde, so was Ajit Pawar, because they can't connect it, relate it to those demands. They are those poor guys who were there in Mumbai, braving sun and this rain. They are landless laborers. They have nothing to lose, and that's why it's desperation, the way they are fighting it out. And this is the kind of a reality, and it's not being addressed. So Marathas are always from outside Mumbai are always seen as a homogeneous one single community. It's not the case.
One question on how Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has been left after this particular agitation, because again on stage, Manoj Jarange said why he can come if he wants, the deputy chief ministers can come if they want, the bitterness between us can go down. What were those statements? What was the ishara? And does this agitation and this face-saving solution offered by the subcommittee on behalf of Devendra Fadnavis's government leave him slightly diminished?
And having, missed the first chance of preventing him outside Mumbai, stopping him outside Mumbai, Devendra Fadnavis was quick to react. And the real winner, there can be only two, as far as the political stature and connect is concerned. Obviously, Manoj Jarange can celebrate. But the real winner is Devendra Fadnavis, who has offered nothing. But it's seen as given a lot, This is something people will take time to understand. And as we move, I will not be surprised if in couple of months, if not weeks, Manoj Jarange coming again and announcing some kind of an agitation, because it's not going to go anywhere.
Girish, one closing question, and that is Mumbai and Mumbaikars had a very typical reaction. These people, they've all come, they've messed up the city, and who do they think they are, and reservations, and this is a problem. Do you have a take on how Mumbaikars reacted to this agitation, these protesters, with who really there seemed to be no connect? Do you think Mumbai has to, get in touch with reality, Maharashtra's reality?
Yeah, actually, more than the Mumbai, the South Mumbai, the most coveted and princely, pricely piece of island in development, island in India, they realize what exactly lies, and see this again shows the disconnect, I mean those uh, supporters of Jarange sleeping on railway platforms, eating nothing, I mean moving here and there, they had never seen, I mean, what the development means, and when you are exposed to beauty of South Mumbai and the size and obviously it would have been, I'm sure, overwhelming for many of them. But the disconnect was shown because everybody was seen kind of as someone who is willing to exploit or threaten Mumbaikars. That was not the case. But as it is, Mumbaikars are suffering a lot, and the first reaction was, oh no, no, one more reason. Because
Yeah.
I mean, nothing had changed in Mumbai infrastructurally. Everybody is suffering because of various issues, and over and above that was this agitation. So initial reaction was obviously this, and the third angle was Ganesh pandals everywhere.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
also a political mess now these days.
Yeah. And with
So
VIP movements, there were so many VIP
yeah,
movements. Traffic
yeah.
was shambles, exactly in those 5 days.
and and,
Um,
and there can't be anything uh, bitter. What can we say about this? The so-called Mumbai spirit. What is actually is helplessness, and when it is described as Mumbai spirit, it was all evident in the city. City was completely, I mean, seen on the deathbed. I mean, it was sad to see, and the reaction was even more saddening.
yeah. Girish, thank you. You want to leave one closing thought on the Maratha agitation, and you said something. You said you might see it again in 2-3 months. So, any closing words on the agitation and where the Marathas will find themselves after this particular protest?
No, I mean the comment and expectation we should have from the government, because it is the government that should have seen this coming, and its unrest is visible. Unrest is visible. There is, you go out of Mumbai, Pune, and Nashik and Aurangabad, and there is a distress. I mean, I can't. It's getting depressing, spending an evening in villages, because there is nothing else to do except these kids with their free data and wasting time on mobiles, and there is no work. There is no work, and what this so-called infrastructure, it is all contractor driven. We have discussed that, so for
Yes.
for for common man, there is a growth, but there is no development. Maharashtra is stuck in a weird situation. It's seen growing without development, and that's why these issues will keep coming. And I hope at some point there will wider sense will prevail, and they will look at the economic distress more than looking at it from the political gains.
Girish, it's interesting that you say that agitations and protests will continue as we go forward, because these solutions are not real solutions to the real problem, which is of the lack of economic growth and development in this state. I hope people are listening. Thank you very much for making time and offering your perspective. We'll keep talking.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching. Do remember to subscribe to this channel. Every subscription goes a long way in helping us continue to get you conversations that are in depth and offer you both context and perspective on the times that we are living in. Thank you. Catch us again.